Today we have 4 news stories that are each as crazy as the other. So the first one we have here today is a Dublin fire attack horror as a woman is doused in petrol and set on fire. So this isn't just a random attack. The Gardaí believe the attack is in connection to a local drugs gang. So obviously, it being part of a gang activity isn't the most insane thing in the world. Normally when you hear about random attacks on people, acid attacks, stabbing, slicing events, that kind of thing, if it's random, it's horrendous. But if it's part of a gang, you're kind of expected. But this apparently isn't the actual intended target. They actually got the target wrong. So you can see here a picture of the door where she was standing and where the actual attack took place. It says a woman is in serious condition in hospital after an attacker is believed to have doused her in petrol and set her alight at the foot of her property in her doorway in Dublin. The woman has been rushed to hospital after the shocking attack took place in broad daylight in a house in Oak Downs, Clondalkin this morning. Clondalkin, as well as many other parts of North Dublin, Clondalkin's more like West Dublin, is absolutely horrendously dangerous. These places are getting so bad now. And is it just because there's more gangland activity? There's more people that aren't from the area? Who knows? I mean, Dublin is just getting really, really bad. The amount of people living in Dublin as well adds to that. When there's more people, there's just more of a crime rate. So it's turning into a shit show there. The woman has believed to be taken to Tala Hospital where her condition is described as serious. So it's not exactly critical, but apparently they think that it's in connection to a local drugs gang, and the woman answered the door to her attackers. So they just rang the doorbell. There wasn't like a breaking and entry. They just rang the doorbell pretending to be somebody else, and then they flipping attacked her. How disgusting is that? And then you have here, of course, Justice Minister Jim O'Callaghan. I'm shocked this morning by today's horrific attack on a woman in Clondalkin. I've been briefed by the Gardaí, and I join them in appealing to anyone with information to come forward so that the perpetrator of this vicious attack can be brought to justice. Now, obviously, because this woman is a white woman, that kind of stuff, they're not going to make a big deal out of it. If this person was a foreigner, if it was an attack on foreigners, if it was an attack on an iPass center, you'd have every single mainstream media article running this. But of course it's not. This is just, Irish people supposedly attacking each other. So there's not many articles on this, guys. You see how it is? When there's gangland violence, they don't really care because it's among Irish people. But if there's an attack on any immigrant or an attack on anything else, then the flipping mainstream media reports the news like crazy. And then yesterday as well, a woman died after the knife attack in Cork. Now, I reported on this, I believe, a couple of days ago, but the actual details of this are insane, guys. Listen to this. It says that Mrs. Gallagher died at the Cork University Hospital, where she had been rushed to by paramedics on Monday, November 17th, after she suffered critical injuries when her and her husband, Brian, were stabbed near their Shrewsbury Down home. And you think to yourself, who stabbed her? Maybe some guy broke into the house. Maybe they were rich. Maybe he was robbing the house. No, it's 10 times worse than that. Their son, David, 25-year-old man, last week was charged with her murder before Cork District Court. And this son, David Gallagher, is also charged with assault causing harm to his father. So this David Gallagher, and we don't have a motive, we don't know why, the son stabbed and killed his own mother and then attacked his father as well with the knife. This is bizarre stuff. We used to only see this kind of stuff in the news from the UK, from the USA. Now we have all this violent, extreme crime here in this country. How is that happening? What is happening? I want to speculate a little bit about this story because I couldn't believe when I saw that the actual killer is the son. I think a lot of this stuff is maybe being abused when you're younger, whatever, having a rough childhood upbringing. But they said that the upbringing was fine. They had a great upbringing. We have people getting brainwashed in this country on the internet, but I think the number one cause of this is all the antidepressants, antipsychotic medication they're giving these flipping young men now. It used to be where nobody was ever taking any anti-anxiety, anti-depression medication. Now you go to a doctor and they instantly prescribe you with this. I've heard horror stories of people that go to the doctor and literally within 30 seconds, the doctor is prescribing them SSRIs, mind-altering medication. Somebody in their right mind, a 25-year-old normal Irish man, doesn't go and stab their parents. He had a great upbringing. They said that this woman was a flippin' beautiful woman in the community. She helped everybody. She brought joys to the lives of everybody that she met. And now all of a sudden she's dead. at 59 years old, Stella Gallagher. This is because the son is hooked on these antidepressants. These antidepressants whack you out of your mind, guys. They literally drive you insane. And now they're saying like 70% of women in the US are on these medication, and in Ireland it's like 30% of people are on these medications. So you have people walking around, and I'm not saying some people don't need the medication. Some people definitely need this. But for me personally, I would never take medication like this stuff, guys. It completely warps your sense of reality. He now took a knife and stabbed her to death, and stabbed the husband, the dad. I mean, this isn't somebody in their right mind, guys. This isn't someone with mental health conditions. This is somebody that has mental health conditions. Maybe they're sad, whatever. They're talking to people, they're working their way through it, and all of a sudden the doctor prescribes them these drugs, and they flip and lose their mind completely. You see all the mass shootings in America. All these kids are on these flipping drugs. All these young men are taking these medications. It says on the box, it says causes suicidal tendencies. What does that mean, guys? Most of these attacks, these stabbings or shootings, these are hyper-performative suicides, okay? So they're attacking somebody before they attack themselves. So it's just a bizarre situation now that we have a lot of people on medications that they shouldn't be prescribed, and they're just walking around ready to detonate, ready to self-detonate and hurt people around them. The next breaking news story we have is even crazier. We have a student in Dunboyne College that apparently stabbed a lecturer. Okay, he stood in front of the class saying he's going to kill himself, and he was slitting his wrists. Then he beat up the teacher. Okay, then he went, after he slit his wrists and tried to hurt himself, he actually then beat up the teacher and then tried to kill another student. So he tried to stab multiple people in the classroom. Like, again, what is causing these people to go crazy? Now, I think this one was an immigrant crime. Okay, so the guy that actually performed this is an immigrant. It wasn't an Irish person. The guy looked Eastern Europe, somewhere Albania, one of these places, Bulgaria, Romania. And it's crazy to think that we have these stabbings now in colleges. And this wasn't reported anywhere. No mainstream media picked up on this, guys. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty much the only person that even talks about this on the internet. So, I don't know exactly if this is 100% true, but we have actual evidence from people saying it. Look, like this woman's text here, I won't show it because it's full of swear words, but she said he stabbed a teacher. It says he stabbed a teacher, pushed a student out the window, smashed 2 double doors, tried to drive into the doors and smashed the head off his steering wheel, and they tried to stab the teacher with a knife. I mean, this is crazy, guys. This is like psychopaths running around student colleges. Like in my college, it was peaceful. There was nothing really happening. There used to be different groups of people fighting and, boxing, that kind of stuff, but not really anything dangerous. Now we have flipping mass stabbers in colleges in Ireland. Like, where is this extreme going? And the newspapers are trying to massage this, guys. They're not trying to show this information. They're basically not trying to alarm the public when the public should be alarmed. Like, we should know about these news stories, how much medication is being given to people, like what is happening in this country, like why has the crime gotten so crazy? It's not like we have gang crime en masse anymore. Okay, they've cracked down on the gangs. Most of the stabbings I report on are just, people attacking their family or people attacking random people. Like, it's just bizarre stuff. And finally, the last news story we have today. We have 2 Roma gypsies who are operating a fake taxi scam with their son, goes on the run, so they escape. And to all you perverts asking what is a fake taxi scam, it's nothing to do with sexual gratification in return for a lift. What it actually is, and I'm going to read out the full article here. It says a warrant has been issued for the arrest of a mother who, along with her son, operated a fake taxi to lure men celebrating St. Patrick's Day festivals before they robbed him and threw him from a moving vehicle in front of Gardaí. This is insane. So on St. Patrick's Day, they lured a man into the car and they flipping kicked him out of the moving car, and the police were watching this at the time. So Maria Muntean, 37 years old. She's 37? Jesus. She looks terrible. With an address in Tala, Dublin, is on the run for failing to show up to Garda District Court on Wednesday for sentencing on robbery and endangerment of life charges. There was no answer at Muntean's apartment. So obviously they fled back to flipping Romania because they're all Romanian gypsies. These people are all big-time gypsies, okay? The criminal mother and son duo had been in Dublin City looking for an easy prey by pretending to be operating a taxi and targeting people who had been out socializing. So this is the other criminal here, Damit Rostas. She told how it slowed down but was still in motion when a male was ejected from the moving vehicle in the middle of the road. Court heard he was thrown from the back seat. The Garda activated her patrol vehicle lights, but the car failed to pull over. She overtook it and got it to stop by maneuvering in front of it. So these Roma gypsies also are resisting arrest. Mother of 7, Maria Muntean, drove, and Damit Rostas in the back seat pushed the injured party from the moving car. Unbelievable. This is absolutely insane, guys. Garda Duffy said Mr. Rosses had approached her intoxicated complaint on Kildare Street, where he had fallen asleep against a statue. These Roma gypsies are having 7 kids. They're outbreeding us, okay? Irish women. If you're an Irish woman out there, you gotta have at least 10 kids, okay? They're having 7, so you have to have at least 8 to 10 kids now, or else we're finished as a population, all right? So throw it around a little bit more, okay? All right, I love you guys all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video. Become a member today for just €3 per month. No scamming you, no bullshit from the mainstream media, just raw, honest truths and news stories every single day. And I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.